Ja, herzlich willkommen zur neuen Ausgabe SI Talk und bei mir nächste Interviewrunde Scottie Resources. Brad Rourke is your CEO.
I am, and president.
And president.
And chief bottle washer. I take the garbage out at camp too.
Yeah, somebody must do.
If you can't show that you can do all the jobs, you're never going to get respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely on your line. So it's very good. It builds confidence in the company, I must say. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
somebody must do the job.
And it's necessity because I've been at this for 10 years. I have no choice but to do everything in my power to make it successful. So, yeah.
So, okay, success is a good thing. In general, when I look at the market, it's a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, that's polite. Yeah.
So when you have a gold price like we have, $2,700, also silver is not really bad. We are doing great on silver too. Okay, we have not all-time high on silver, but in general, great. And then I look at the stocks, especially on the junior stocks and the exploration stocks. I think here's something fishy. Here's something a disconnect between the gold price, the resource price, and the stock price. And I have some ideas. And yesterday you also was on the Metal Forum, and there was interesting talks and why this happened and why this is. But do you have any idea why we have really this disconnect between the stock market and the commodity market?
Oh my gosh, there's not enough storage on your computer chip. There could be lots of ideas. But let's break it.
Try.
But we'll break it down. We won't try and bore everybody, but things are different with retail trading. It's different than when I started buying my first stocks in the late 1980s, and it has everything to do with this algorithm and trading and then the perception of what's a clean business and a dirty business. And if you're in oil extraction or mineral extraction, the psyche is like, oh, this is bad, regardless if it's essential. And it's mining is essential as air is to a human being, as oil, and not to get into those, but I think the sentiment has really dropped down. And because the major mining companies, so I'm going into my 10th year. I think I know lots about the stock market, but I never thought that this would take 10 years, and ongoing. But what I've always said, even if you talked to me 5 years ago, guys like us, we're not moving anywhere until the guys at the top, the Newmonts and Nikos, Kinrosses, everybody but Barrick. And of course I own Barrick for the last 5 years. It's sideways. But you have to understand is that until they start moving, and they have, and it seems underpinned with fundamentals, they're making money, then it's only going to start trickling down to companies like ours. And we're at the bottom of the chain. But what you're seeing is there are going to be a few wins here and there. And then, if your neighbor's made some money on this, you're like, oh, and it's just been so long since anyone's made any money in this industry. But because these companies, the majors, are run better than they've ever been run before, they're making money, that will trickle down to the good exploration companies. Now, I think the differences are with algo trading, and so it's just computers talking to computers, and they don't care if I've got a great story or what's coming in the future. They're just, some garbage in, garbage out. There's some inputs. They just, if they're clipping. So I think these things have to change, and I think they will, because, or there's going to be a whole bunch of companies that go away, which is also be really good for Scottie. We're not going anyway. We're in no duress. We're strong. We're less companies to invest in. But I think, much like in 2000, so I was in the tech business in 2000, but I learned I was in mining first. And then mining stopped in Canada around 1997, before BRIEX. It was a government policy decision called Windy Craggy. And then I went in, and so having learned about the stock market and junior exploration, I went into tech. I see today such similarities, right? And the signal back then was pets.com for me. Like everything.com worked.
Yeah.
Pets.com, and had this crazy valuation, and then everything changed in about 3 months. What my signal for now, and the tech's got ahead of itself, except tech makes money now, and they didn't make money in 2000. So there's a little bit of a difference. I recognize that. But you've got this Trump coin or fart coin or what, and you're going, that to me is signal going, it's going to change, right? Because that's ridiculous, and people are going to get laid out, and then fear will hit the market, and then you go to hard assets, right? And then that's where we sit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I'm still enthusiastic.
Okay, good. And I talked with the other person before, and to say, hey, if I'm not optimistic, I cannot work in the resource business.
Oh gosh, no.
It's a fundamental thing what you must have when you are in this industry. You must be optimistic.
Yeah.
Last question to the politicians before we go then to the project is,
okay,
what you expect from the new U.S. Government?
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, we've never seen anything quite like what we're seeing now, and I'm a libertarian, so to speak. I don't like any politicians, and I think all of us should not like any politicians and just hold them to account, and we should change our politicians like diapers, and for the exact same reason, right? Because they're full. And but what I see, what's good about the new administration, Donald Trump, is that, especially for Canada, it's very painful. They're going to put tariffs on us. He's going to do all this, but even though that's scary and nothing that we want, but it's going to open up people's eyes, going, well, we have to stand on our own. So is it going to allow us to make fundamental changes where we just have to be strong as our own country? You're from Germany. I was in Germany when you fired your finance minister. But those changes really start making people think. So I think even though it's Trump, it's the United States, Canadians now are all scared and they get caught up in the wrong stuff. But you go, it's going to make us look internally and go, okay, where's our weaknesses, where are our strengths? So that part, I think, because we need a new mentality. We need to think about differently than we have for the last 10 years, where the public sector is really dictating everything without any appreciation for money going into the trough, so we can have a strong public sector. I just see there's going to be perhaps more pain in the future, but ultimately it's good, and it's an illusion if we don't change things. So I think it's going to bring that change a little bit quicker. So I'm excited about that. And then for Scottie, we're different, right? We're a brownfield site. We're fine. It's no fun, but we're no duress, right? Like nobody's going to topple us, and so we're good. So I look forward to a little bit of more reasonable rules and just sentiment. And then again, Canada, we're a resource economy, right? And we should be proud of it, and we should be supporting our industries so we can come up with the technologies to make it cleaner or better. It's our responsibility. But you have to let these mines flourish, and then we can export our technology to perhaps different countries that might not be as concerned. So I see this happening. It's never as quick as you want it, but because of the Trump administration, I think it's going to happen a lot quicker than
it's
status
up the
quo.
Process.
Correct, yeah.
So, coming to the project. It's very long time that we have our last interview. I have no clue. Is it 5 years or 4 years or something like
Probably
that?
5 years ago, I think, in 2020. I could be wrong, but that's... and I had no clue what I was doing. I was just an investor. I took over this company, and
That's
and
right.
I was
exactly. This was the stage.
yeah. I was like, okay, I had my success in energy in Canada, and I was retired at a young age, and it started off me helping somebody, wrote a couple checks, and then I was like, you guys, this never work out. Look out! I'll take this over, thinking I would give it to somebody better than me immediately. I'm going into my 10th year now. So I think I have a good handle on the industry now. By no means, for a president and for what I roll, I think I'm very comfortable where I'm at right now. And mostly I'm just good at hiring good team, right? And so what I've got under me, and everybody's smarter than me below me, right? And that's...
it comes to geological...
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, Thomas on my VPX, I mean, the guy's got a new discovery. We went from nothing when you and I met. I'm about to come out with my first MRE in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We're targeting about 1 million ounces for our first mineral resource estimate. But it's only be about 55,000 meters of drilling. So if I'm correct that it's targeting 1 million, if it's a 900 or 1.1, it doesn't really matter because I can continue to add ounces at the same rate as we have been. We're not cut off. And every year we've been very proud of what we've accomplished from a drilling point of view. And then that resource has a different function of why we're doing it. So I sent a big composite sample to Germany, and we're doing ore sorting technology. Okay. So we're going to look at the possibilities of doing a light processing on site. There is a deep water shipping port just 40 kilometers down the road, and it's only $30 a ton to ship to China. And China's built way too many smelters. So I think in 2025, again, not to get the cart in front of the horse, I need my resource because I can't talk about numbers. This ore sorting study will allow me to really put proper numbers in, but I think that's what you're going to see in 2025 and get ourselves out of this junior exploration and go, look, I have 1 million ounces. We have analysts suggesting 3. I'm extremely comfortable saying I'm targeting 2 million ounces. So if we decide to go route A, B, or C, there's a few different options that we're looking at, but we just don't want to be a junior exploration company waiting for some white knight to come in and buy us. We think that we can set our own price by doing these financial studies. And then if you look at Kevin Jennings, who's joined my advisory board, he basically is the authority on financially modeling deposits around the world. So his numbers are good. He's got the experience, and he owns over 10% of our stock that he found us. And we didn't find him, and he bought all that in the market. And if you look at our insider reports, he's still buying, even though he's over 10%. So even I bought actually some stock, which I've sworn twice now. I can't put another $1 in because I have an awful lot of my family money into it. I don't make my living off this, but it goes into a black hole. Until I sell the company, I'll never have access to that capital again. But I started buying stock again because I just can't quite find where else to move money to, right? I like the Scottie and
it's good. It's good. It also brings confidence to the people that you believe in your own story.
Sure.
So that's is very important. But when you think, when we dream a little bit, and we say, okay, maybe 1 million, 2 million ounces possible. Okay, it's not a fix. First resource calculation coming out in 4 weeks, or 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, hopefully by PDAC. Yes.
Yeah, so around PDAC is a good point. So but you really think you ship then the ore sorted ore.
Yeah.
Then you have less tonnage. Ship it to China, but then you have a much smaller operations in
Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah.
So is it then easier also to running permitting for this? I think permit is still always an issue.
I have a permit. The big difference between me and anybody else, I'll get to bypass the whole EA process because I have a permit in care maintenance right now. We believe now, again, it's always consultants and government, so if I tell you something, I don't really know, and nor does anybody else, but we've always under-promise, over-deliver. My permitting consultants are the same as Ascot's. We think it's reasonable from the moment I say go, which I haven't said go right now, we could turn those rocks into dollar bills in about 30 months. That's what we believe, but what we know, it's quicker than anybody else could ever even imagine from a greenfield perspective. You're looking 7-10 years, and even that might be a short period of time. But because we have a permit, we We have green power on site. We have a road, 7 kilometers underground workings. And really important is on 2 faces, we're at ore, no development. Blueberry starts at surface, and then the Scottie gold mine shut down in ore. So, there's other problems with companies in and around the area. They still haven't got development to get to the faces, where we just start right from ore. And we're one of 3 mines in the world that close to a deep water shipping facility, right? And so you go, these are advantages that I don't think people are recognized. I've been talking about it, but we're going to put it just in an Excel spreadsheet and go, look. And again, we could have contracts signed by the end of the year.
Yeah. But also the most realistic outcome by all the juniors is that somebody comes and take over the company.
Correct.
And I know exactly that some mines are around you.
Correct.
So then there's always a possibility that somebody from them coming. And
sure.
So, but no, go ahead. You have something on.
Well, right. So yes, let's talk about the 2 mills on either side of me.
Yeah.
So Newmont.
Yeah.
Okay, but when I started, the reason I took this over is because I was retired in a little town called Smithers, and they're building a $50 million power line to Pritium, Bruce Jack. And I'm like, well, Scottie was a past producing, the power's there. What could go wrong? This is when I got involved in 2016, and then my education started. But, of course, you have then Newcrest bought Pritium, and then Newmont bought Newcrest. So this is what I tell people. Newmont in 2024 had a clear objective. They're getting rid of non-core assets. They have the 6 mines that they're selling. I think they're probably 80% through that. So if you're a big company and you're 2025, what are you going to do? You're going to go look at your core assets. So if you've already cleaned out what's not core, then you get to the next stage, or I would think, now I'm speculating, is you're going to, how do I make my core assets solid? Well, history shows that major companies will always look to buy satellite deposits around the existing infrastructure they have. And if you look at Bruce Jack, I found 1 million ounces for 55,000 meters. What is the value of an ounce of gold in the ground? Could you go and find 1 million ounces, and how much would that cost you? So Newmont's going to look at that. But again, we've been not part of the focus for them. And then, of course, you have Ascot, which is a troubled mill to the south of us. And it's just been really unfortunate for them. A whole bunch of things have happened, and I don't necessarily think it was negligence or bad management. But if you saw last week, shuffled the deck, new management, new board, or not new board, but they put, there's Corey Apu owns about 25% of that company, and Equinox Partner owns about 16, 17%. Between the two of them, they have about 44% of the company. Well, Equinox just installed someone on the board, and I've been doing this for 35 years. You start moving board members, you know what happens, right? It's the new guy's going to go in there. He's an operations guy. I don't know him. Mr. Curry is his name. But he helped build Pritium. He helped build New Afton, and he was the COO of New Gold, of which Ernie Mast on my board was the COO of New Gold as well. So we have a little bit of understanding of him. But really what he's going to do, he's been put in there by the money who's in the last couple of years, and he's going to go, is the mill working? Where are they at with that? And, I don't know because I'm not under the covers, but they're 98% done that mill. There's probably a little tweaking here. And then the next thing he's going to go, where's the ore? Yeah. But he doesn't have any preconceptions of somebody who'd been working on it for 10 years and thought this was better than this. They're just going to look at it from fresh eyes. And from our point of view, we go, we can't lose, right? It's our view. And
so
again,
you are in a nice sandwich.
We are. And then we're going to add this DSO model. So it may never, ever make it to China, but we're going to show you what that ore is worth before anybody starts telling us what our project's worth. Because if you look at my market cap today, it says $40 or $50 million Canadian, and you're going, I can't get my head around that. And, but the market's always right, and maybe I'm wrong. But I go, for me, how I look at it for my money is, what is an ounce of gold worth in situ, in the ground, at the grade that we have and ease of access? All of us old guys have been in this business, $35, $50 an ounce in the ground. I'm going, gold, it's $3,900 Canadian. It's worth $250, $300 our ounces because there's no exploration, power, roads, all the there's no infrastructure to put in. So therefore, that would give me, if I'm correct on the resource, I'll be able to really hammer numbers in about a month's time. But, there's a lot of value to unlock at Scottie, and it'll happen gradually and then suddenly. And I think that suddenly, hopefully, is coming soon. But
okay, okay,
we're confident.
Yeah, makes sense. Capital structure. How much money you have?
So I'm blessed right now. I have $7 million hard dollars. We just did a restructuring of the company. So I never started the company. It was existing, 40 million shares. We were at 299 million shares before Franco-Nevada gave us that money last April. Ascot had 980 million shares outstanding. So I'm just going, okay, what's going to happen there. I mean, I'm no one's, but I mean, of course that's going to get rolled back, or are they going to buck the trend and we're going to become Australia and a billion shares doesn't matter, and that's, that's not right or wrong. It's hard for us to mentally get our heads around that in Canada because it's been ingrained, but the ASX is probably better than the TSX right now, but that takes away 10 baggers, right? Yeah. That's guys buy at 5 cents, sell at 7, and so I just assume that's going to get restructured. So I just thought, well, let's do it first. And I've been talking to a lot of retail investors in the United States. And just, if we're 15 or 16 cents Canadian, it's 11, 12 cents US. And if you have a JP or a Goldman account, and if you're a high net worth investor, they charge you a penny a share no matter what. So I got enough advice from people in the U.S. who I've been trying to market to go, look, my fund not even allowed to come in anything under 50 cents or $1. And I'm going, well, let's restructure it now so it looks like a fresh sheet of paper, under 50 million shares, $7 million hard in the bank, resource coming out, ore sorting. I still have a little bit more drilling to come out. And I go, it's better to do that in a time of strength. And we haven't really been punished because I just believe I can go, if I can't go out and show you that there's more value at $50 million market cap, then perhaps my next look is just fire myself. Right? Well, because it's just, I see it, I believe it, and I can compare myself to 10 different companies that you go, oh, this company's this, and I'm going, yeah.
What the management have a stake in the company?
So just Kevin and I own 16%.
Okay.
Just the two of us of the company, and Ernie, Steve, and John Williamson. I'm not exactly sure, but they all probably have over 1 million shares each, or with the restructuring, but 500,000 shares or so. So they've, even John Williamson, if you look at the insider reports, he bought shares over Christmas, right? And it's not a typical thing for John to do. Like he starts companies, and I think he threw 50,000 in at Christmas time. The price is too ridiculous. Of which this viewer can buy today, same as we. And I've been buying pretty consistently, and I don't think I'm stopping for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just shuffling from here to there, and I'm going, well, I like our prospects even more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, Brett, thank you for the update. This was a long time ago that we do the last one, so it's for sure we have a lot to talk. Ja, Scottie haben wir schon geredet. Also der erste Teil ist ja vor allem um den Rohstoffmarkt selber gegangen und so weiter und so fort. Da brauchen wir nicht wirklich was reden. Was ist das Interessante am Scottie? Erstens mal, es war eine alte Mine. Zweitens mal, sie haben die Pyramid. Drittens mal, sie sind im Sandwich zwischen Newmont und Ascot. Und sie haben keine Pyramid-großen Probleme. Der Hafen, das ist der vierte, ist 30 Kilometer nur entfernt. 30 Kilometers ist der Deepwater, or 40? 40, nicht 30, 40. So, und das ist genau der Punkt. Er hat jetzt zwei Möglichkeiten, es wird jetzt Technologie dementsprechend und es ist dort die Infrastruktur, muss man auch wissen, er ist quasi im Ohr drinnen. Sie haben die erste Ressourcenschätzung kommt vor PDEC noch oder rund um PDEC, soll es rauskommen, ist rund um 1 Million und ob das 900.000 ist oder 1,1 Millionen ist im Prinzip wurscht, aber er kann jederzeit relativ schnell anfangen zu produzieren. Er lässt jetzt eine Technologie nur überprüfen, wo es um Erzsortierung geht, das heißt, dass man das taube Gestein ausscheidet und nur das Erz nimmt, dadurch wird die Tonnage geringer und könnte er das dann dementsprechend nach China verschiffen und dort wird es aufbereitet. So, Der Punkt ist allerdings, dass natürlich dann der Druck auf die anderen größer wird, dass sie irgendwas machen. Wir haben eben, wie gesagt, im Norden Newmont, unten Escort, im Süden. Escort hat selber genug Probleme momentan, aber die schauen sich natürlich an, wo kann ich halt auch, oder werden sich anschauen, wo kann ich denn auch billige Unzen dazu bekommen, und so viele Möglichkeiten gibt es da nicht. Und wie gesagt, man erhöht dadurch den Druck natürlich auf die anderen Firmen, dass sie möglicherweise aktiv werden. Also wenn ich vermuten würde, ich sage, die Chance, dass sie wirklich da mit China irgendwas machen, ist geringer als das, dass sie irgendeiner daherkommt und das sich schnappt. Ja, das war's. Ein Update von Scottie Resources auf der Vancouver Investment Conference, WREC 2025, und heute ist, glaube ich, der 19. Jänner 2025. So, tschüss und Baba, pfiat euch. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Nice to see you again. Always.
Nice to you. Yeah, and thank you for the nice weather.
Oh, yeah. You just order it. I deliver.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.